Hey everybody, it's Shakira. Welcome back to Glow Beauty Wellness. And in today's video, we are going to talk about your exit strategy. So I posted the video that talked about how chronic stress is killing you, and the lady that was speaking on the video talked about reducing stress versus reducing, managing, and eliminating stress, right? And she talked about, how journaling and meditation and all these things are managing stress, but it is very important for your health to just eliminate it altogether because stress kills. So I want to talk about how what an exit strategy looks like, because it's easy to say, like, if you are in a dead end relationship, and when I say dead end, I mean where you're not happy, you're not thriving, you are not living life, your marriage or relationship together. You are not having your needs met or fulfilled, and you are just kind of coasting. And I think that um, many people have been there. Many people are still there, and you get so used to being in a dead end job, relationship, friendship. It's like, oh, we've been here for so long. We've been together for 20 years, 30 years. I've been working here for 30 years, but meanwhile you are unhappy, you're chronically stressed, and you're not doing anything about it. And I think that a lot of people don't make moves to change their situation because they can't see past their situation. And so what I'm going to talk about today is my own personal situation. And for a little while, for about 10 years, it was like dead end relationships for me, right? I would get into relationships where I wanted to help. I wanted to help heal them. I wanted to da 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 da. A lot of ladies think that it is a badge of honor that, oh, I'm a healer and I'm going to heal you. No, you can inspire healing, but somebody that needs to heal ultimately has to see that this is what they need to do for them. And your love, your nurturing, your forgiveness, your this and that, it's not going to make them be better. They're not going to see that you're such an amazing woman and you're so nurturing, and they just have to change because of you. That's not how it works. And that's why, let's just say you're in a situation where you find yourself constantly trying to prove your worth, and you're constantly you're trying versus just resting in your feminine space, shall I say. Relationships, I firmly believe, I will continue to believe, when you are balanced energetically, when the person is healthy or trying to get healthy on their own for their own, it really is like a flow. It's like, a dance where you give, he gives, or she, if you're same sex, or he, whatever your situation is. It's never supposed to be like you're fighting to prove something, you're fighting to prove your worth. He's supposed to see that already. So, but a lot of people get caught up in this. We've been together for so long. I have so much invested. I don't want to let him go because then another lady is going to reap the benefits of my hard work. Well, first of all, he doesn't even value you. You know what I mean? I don't know if society has programmed us to think that relationships are supposed to be hard, and the ups and downs and things like that. Um, that's a lie. That's a lie, and that's why you're not happy. So I think, again, that people don't make the moves that they need to make. Exit strategy, meaning exit strategy, because some people are just, you're just not meant to be. It's just not. It's not going to work ever, and you have two choices. You can, take the L and move on, do what you need to do in order to be happy. So same thing with jobs. I don't want to create an exit strategy for a job. Now, me personally, if I didn't like a job, which this is where I can't work for anybody else but myself, my mom, or my husband, um, because I would just quit. Like, I never was going to be behind a desk for 20, 30 years. And like, I just knew that there was a different way and a better way. And hence why I didn't stick, I never went down that road of, taking a certain career that is not making me happy. Like, I'm not happy. I know that there are people out there, and I'm going to get to the how in a second, but there are people out there that will convince you that life is hard, that, you have to work hard, life is hard, and I just don't believe that. And this is not um, an isolated incident with me. There are lots of people that are living their dreams, that are happy, that are actually happy. Like, when they post things on social media, they are actually happy and they're sharing their happiness because they want other people to see that it's possible for you. So here's the how. So real life, legit. These are my stories. I'm gonna tell you two. First marriage. And I'm not going to talk about it. I'm just going to say the truth, and maybe these people have changed. I don't know. I don't care, right? But first marriage, I realized, okay, this is not going to work, right? There are one or two things that are going to have to happen. I'm going to have to completely acquiesce all of my dreams. I'm going to acquiesce to this person and let go of all of my dreams and my goals and just really let this person drag me down. Like, this person was not supportive of my dreams and my goals, very insecure, lots of different things that were going on, abusive, cheating, all just very, very bad, very, very toxic, very bad. And I had just gotten into manifestation and like meditation. I don't want to say manifestation. I want to say just like understanding that I am a part of this creative process of my life. And I did a session at my old therapist where she said, I'm talking about the problems in the marriage. And she said, close your eyes and visualize your life in 5 years. The things that you want, the lifestyle, the money, the whatever. Do you see him there? And I opened my eyes and I realized, no, like just with the way that this individual was living his life, it was not going to work out. Like I was going to be in the dumps if I did not decide to do something different. So I put my plan into place, which was basically, hey, we need to separate. We need to see how this can work. I'm not happy. This is not good for me. This is not good for you. This is not good for the kids. Let's try the separation. And it wasn't an easy thing. I had to continue to request that. And then eventually we separated and eventually we were divorced. But I didn't learn my lesson, right? I didn't learn my lesson yet. I had to enter into a second marriage because I didn't take the time. I didn't have to. I entered into a second marriage, which was equally as toxic and abusive. Started out like me being abused, and then we began to abuse each other. And it was my side was more of like protection and reaction from being attacked, is what I'm trying to say. And I'm trying to fast forward. I'm fast forwarding through this story so that you can just kind of get what I'm trying to say in terms of having to make a plan. This time I moved clear across the country to California. I was an army wife. I wasn't 100% dependent on the situation, financial or anything like that, but my family was all the way across the country. I didn't have any support at all except for the people that I met on this military base. Long story short, once I realized, okay, this is very toxic, this is abusive, this is harmful to the kids, to see us like this, this is when I started my group fitness certification training. This is when I started to create everything that you see online right now. This is when it all was happening for me. In like 23, I was doing my nutrition school. I was in nutrition school. I was studying, I was meditating, I was doing all of these healing modalities. I left that marriage. We separated once, and I went back to Maryland, and I was heavily just like meditating, reprogramming my mind, reading books, all of the things that I couldn't do in that marriage because it was like, when you are growing and the other person refuses to grow, doesn't want to grow, is jealous because they know once you start to expand, you're out of there. I had already had a head start though because we were separated for a good 3 or 4 months. And then I went back, and I don't want to say stupidly, but I went back hopeful, right? Because I was changing, because I was becoming less reactive. I was working on healing my parasympathetic nervous system. I was realizing, okay, bitch, you're a codependent. You need to get your shit together. This is why you keep attracting these type of people. Okay? So I'm doing the work separated, right? Separated, the second marriage, doing the work separated. But I really was hopeful and really thought that and believed because I was being told, oh, I'm doing this work, I'm doing that work, and I'm ready, and I'm this and I'm that. And I'm like, okay. So me and my kids go back, and it was not better. It was worse. It was awful. And so what ended up happening a year before I left for the final time, and I remember this was October of 20, October 2014, I called my cousin who already lived in Texas because I was going to leave. There was a big fight. I was going to leave, but I did not have like a real plan, right? I just knew that this is when my plan has to start. So a year before I actually left, I was planning, okay, if I left, could I move here with you? Yeah, of course. It's my cousin. She's like, yeah, you can come move with me. And I'm like, okay. I gave it a year. I'm still doing my work. I'm still working on myself. I had a meditation room that was specifically, it was just like I have one here in our home. It was specifically for work and for meditation. And I would go in that room when my ex went to work because the energy was just like, and I'm not trying to talk bad. I'm just telling the truth. You know, when you get around people, when people say, I feel the energy was so bad, was so down in the dumps. And I had to use the time that I had alone to work on myself. So you have to have time alone to work on yourself to really make a plan work. Whatever plan it is, you have to start the plan. And sometimes it's going to take 3 months, sometimes it's going to take a year. It just depends on your situation. So when I had the time alone, that's when I really, really, really worked on myself. I meditated. I got in my meditation or prayer closet. I was dedicated to transformation because I know something. Anything outside of this is better. Anything is better than this because abuse is not okay. Even if you start abusing because you're being abused, that's obviously not okay. Read the book, the emotionally abusive relationship, if you are in a situation like that, and it helps you understand the psychology, the pathology behind this type of behavior. In general, like I'm a very calm person, but baby, I've never started, but I can definitely end any argument or situation. So, anyways, I realized, okay, I have to plan this out because also I have kids, you know. So I did my very best to remain calm, cool, and collected while in the situation. And it took a year of just like planning and preparation and things like that. Trying to save money, building my business that you see right now, my brand on that you see right now. And it was an uphill battle when you are in a situation where the people that are closest to you want to see you fail. They don't want to see you grow because then you move away from you know um, people in situations that are not beneficial to you, right? Or that do not feed you. I don't want to say beneficial, but do not feed you and do not help you become a better person. So I had the plan in my mind. I wrote it down, what I wanted to do. I wrote down everything that you see me doing now: teaching, helping women, doing workshops, working in the jails, things like that. And there was one final just like blow up where I left and it wasn't at the time that I wanted to leave. It wanted to leave, but it all ended up working. I had a year to plan this, right? And I had already talked to my cousin and she said, of course, you're welcome here. Um, so I called her and I let her know. I called my mom. I let her know. I let my cousin know. And I was out. Now, and never looked back. And I continued to work on myself. And so that was the abbreviated version of how my exit strategy. The thing to understand is that when you stay in situations, ecosystems that are not benefiting you, that are not helping you grow, that are stressful, that cause chronic stress. Those two situations were chronic, stressful situations. It was chronically stressful on a day-to-day basis. Some people stay for their entire lives and they give up on their dreams, they give up on their goals, they give up on their health, they give up on everything because they cannot see past tomorrow, because they're not working on themselves and because they are not planning. When you get involved in a situation that ends up being, well, first of all, a lot of times we already know that this is not a healthy situation, right? We get into these situations that we created on our own. We agreed to be in because we were thinking from a lack mindset that this is the best that I can do. This is the best job that I can get. This is the best friend that I have. This is the best partner that I could, it's better to be with somebody, even if it's toxic or whatever, and it's affecting my health. you have to realize that these things, whether it's a job that keeps you stressed, a friend that has always got drama around, or family member, friend or family member, a partner or marriage that is constantly stressing you out, these things impact your health. There's too many studies out here to support this. So for me, knowing that and just not even feeling good, most people don't know how good their bodies are designed to feel on a day-to-day basis. Now, we do have stress here and there that's just like, house buying stress, moving stress, wedding planning. Those things are normal because then they eventually subside. But then you have somebody that's constantly cheating on you, lying to you, starting drama, a boss that is manipulative, a family member or friend or coworker that's constantly stressing you out. You can choose to check out of that at any time. And you have to see the vision that, anything is better than this, even being by yourself. Even being by yourself is way less stressful than being in ecosystems that are causing stress and you are now wearing the stress. Have you seen ladies, like I've seen people that 10 years ago they got married, right? And you would think that it was a great situation. I have stories for days about this. And then you see them 10 years later and they have wrinkles. I haven't had Botox. I do need, like, I have some little bunny lines right here, but I haven't had any injections since it's been a year and a half. My skin is pretty good. I'm in shape. I am focused on me 100%. And then the trickle down goes to my family because I'm not going to just sign my life over to a situation just to say I have been married for X amount of times. At this point, I used to be embarrassed about the fact that I've been divorced twice, but I had to go through those things to get to where I'm at now, to where there is no chronic stress. Obviously, in relationships, when we're talking about two people, you're going to have conflict, but the goal is to have all relationships 90% good, 10% conflict. And then when you have a conflict, you're able to work it out in a healthy way, and you're not dealing with people that are doing obvious wrong things, like cheating and lying and all of these things that are normalized when you can have everything that you want in your life if you are willing to hold out for it. And it took me, after like separating and divorce, it took me 8 years to meet my husband. It took me 8 years to meet my husband. So what people see is like, oh, they're so happy. Oh, my husband is very good to me. He is very good to me. I have not had to experience any of the stuff that I experienced in the past. Why? Because I had to make the shift. I had to make the shift of who I was so that I could stop attracting, um, you know, broken people because I was broken at the time. You know what I'm saying? So your exit strategy is your planning, your exit strategy is the catalyst to your new life. That's how you get to a space where you're like, I'm happy. Every day I wake up just happy and grateful for my life, for my husband, for my kids, for everything that I worked so hard in the spiritual and in the physical to not only create but also maintain. So that means you have to do the work on yourself and remain focused on the goal and not focused on your problem. This takes practice and it's not going to come overnight. So, your exit strategy is very important, but in order to plan it properly, you have to work on yourself and you have to really uproot the things that have allowed you to stay in a situation, whether it's work, friend, toxic family member, whatever, relationships. You have to uproot that programming that allows you to even get to that space. I hope that this makes sense. That's the video.